Brothers and sisters, who amongst you sets the standard for strength? Who amongst you will help winnow the weak from the strong? Ithai waves his hands in the air, drawing in a gathering of chorus soldiers. The claimants have been assembled. Now let the trial of the Oathbreaker begin.
Come at.
Oh joy. It's on. Okay. Let's have you cast. Where's my nice little pit? That one? Let's get rid of their archer for a minute. You cast that. What have you got? Titan's Touch, Strength, Restoring Touch. Ah, he's a healer. Nice. Now, weapons-wise, he has a quill that can do a melee attack. That's interesting. I'll let the AI just deal with that, I think. Verse. You shoot the hell out of him, please. Alright, now we've got a nice cleave, which I can do there to hit 2. No, she's going to take an opportunity attack if I do that. That's a bad plan. Point. Get in that stance.
On it.
Ooh, gut ripper. And given that we're in combat, let's have you quickly heals the Fate Binder with a sword surge.
On your command. Good work.
Health, please. Thank you. By the righteous shedding of blood, we have found our answer. Regrettably, it appears the sage is worthy of leaving our camp alive. The fifth eye offers a short, mocking bow to Lantry. By the customs set forth by the voices of Narat, you are free to go, old man. Brag to your grand kids that you fell afoul of the chorus, yet lived to tell the story. Yeah, the chorus is a rather bloody definition of the word trial. That was fun. Your warriors almost put up a good fight. Play silently. Now we see if this old man was worth the effort. The old man, are you hurt? I guess we'll go with now we see if the old man was worth the effort. Bit of fear. Gracious Fatebinder, the sage holds his hands up, cowering backwards. I am humbled that you would put yourself at risk for me. I assure you, you have my full obedience and cooperation. Thought I'd die tied to that post. Sage looks down at his rope-worn wrists in disbelief. Hand me that parchment. I'm certain I can decipher it. Well, much of the parchment was weathered, but I could make out the important parts of the text. The note mentions a meeting spot west of Tripnettle. So the old sage knows his words after all. I'd ask that you travel ahead and see if you can't get this Captain Florian to yield to the chorus. They will strike at first sight of a chorus gang, but perhaps they will parley if yours is the face they see. Lantry says, I know the area. I suggest we go at once. I'll show you the way. I'm eager to be far from the stench of this camp. Slow down. Introductions might be in order. You're offering to come with me. Why? Something's amiss. There's a lot of fight in you for an old scholar. Now you're offering to join this expedition. Or how about you just tell me where it is? I don't need you tagging along. We're going to go with something's amiss. I've met sages every bit as cutthroat as hardened gang bosses. They act the part of doddering scribes, but don't let that fool you. This verse. Smart for someone your age to be so mistrusting, but I'm not with the Oathbreakers, if that's what you're fishing at. I worked for them under duress, but I've no love for them. I'm not about to pledge to the chorus, and the disfavoured wouldn't have me. Still, I consider myself a Kairos-fearing vassal of the Overlord's empire all the same. As long as I've been a sage, I've been trained to defend myself. We don't spend all our time binding books and sketching wildlife, just most of it. For centuries, we've been in a quiet war with the School of Tides and the School of Wild Wrath. You can't travel alone as much as I do and not know the Bronze Dance. Which is an interesting way of, describing that. You won't be parchment weight during a fight, good to know. And your little quill dagger, just for decoration? Well, we already know it's not. Glare silently. Do you think I'm an idiot who sent you to kill me? Yeah, so you won't be a parchment weight during a fight, good to know. Get some loyalty. Nearly a whole level. Excellent. So, oh no, I'd like to think I'm worth at least 3 or 4 angry peasants in a fight. We've got introductions, you often come with me, why? How about you just tell me where it is, don't need you tagging along. Fine if you're so eager, come with me. Swear fealty to me and I'll let you leave this place with me, or sorry, you're on your own. Let's go with the fealty one. That is your price. I will pay it. I, Sage Lantry of School of Ink and Quill, do pledge my services and scheme to the Fate Binder, and by extension the Court of Tunon. Now I may seem old and frail, but I know how to step lightly and how not to get killed. Really, I won't slow you down. Lead the way, and, I can be of service. And Versus pops up with, are you done here? Let's hightail it to Trip Nettle. If your new pet doesn't behave himself along the way, I'm not above clipping his ears. Alright, let's have a look at him, shall we? He's got 2 attribute points we can spend. Have a look at some of his abilities first. So he's in the Preservation tree, which is the healing, I think. Greater renewal. Empowers Lantry's renewal ability, granting an even greater increase to weapon damage and armor. Gifted Healer. I'll go with the Gifted Healer. And the Greater Renewal. That's nice. Can't get it yet, but place a preservation seal on an ally. If the ally's health falls below a limit, they are healed for a large amount of health and the seal is destroyed. And can revive a fallen comrade. Very handy. You can stay. And he's got a lot of law skill. Interestingly enough, he's got access to seals that I don't. I wonder if they're in his inventory. Nope. We will give him a hat, though. Didn't put the attribute points in. Of course I didn't. Right. Spell strength and defense. Let me go with that one. Get his spell strength up. Right. So we've got a couple of places. We can go to the remote settlement and try and recruit people. Or we can go to the Tripnettle Wilderness. We'll go to Tripnettle first. The path is blocked by a small group of Vendrian guard. You go no further until you deal with them.
That's far enough, Fatebinder.
Ooh, a voice actor. A woman's voice booms from atop a nearby outcropping. Flashes of aquamarine body paint, blue body pigment, bladed staff, and complex braided attire are the traditional trappings of the School of Tides, which I'm sure is something that they said, my new guy said they fight with a lot. According to Fatebinder Rogalas, the majority of the school fled before the coming of Kairos. The remainder were last seen during the first campaign in Vendrian's Well. The School of Tides traditionally studies the magic of water and grave light. So flashes of aquamarine body paint peek out from under her loose-fitting traveller's garb, and her outfit is festooned in braids and knots of sailor's line. Flanked on either side by warriors dressed in Vendrian guard regalia, the woman leans on an elaborate bladed staff pulsing with arcane energy. A swath of blue fabric rests draped over her arm. The blue flag is a symbol of diplomacy and truce, recognized across most of the known world, and is a custom that tiersmen hold dear. Harm another person under the auspices of a blue flag is a grave offense in both the Tiers and the Kairos Empire. Customary punishment is death.
In accordance with ancient customs north and south, I offer and request a delay of blade. There are matters we must discuss without fear of reprisal.
The woman bows deeply, lowering her head in a practiced display of etiquette. The warriors by her remain in a ready stance, their nerves clearly on edge. So, in accordance with the ancient customs north and south, I abide by this truce. You have me at a disadvantage, glare silently. You would detain a Fatebinder of the Archon of Justice, unwise, or draw your weapon, run while you can. We'll go with the top one. It said it's part of the Kairos Empire as well.
As is our custom, we are ready to kill to defend our lands, but we kill only in fair battle. We don't slay our prisoners. We know this isn't Kairos' way, but we must have hope. A few of my kin have gone missing, and though they may have perished, I have to inquire on the off chance they still live. If Captain Tarkus Deimos still lives, we would negotiate for his release.
We kind of executed him because he was being, hung up outside the town.
I see. That is as I feared, but thank you for telling me all the same. I prefer closure to wishful thinking. If I may make one more inquiry, what of Palox Tyrell? Did he survive?
You rarely have the luxury of matching names to the countless Tiersmen you've encountered. You are reasonably certain she's asking about the Vendrian guard warrior that took Drastus hostage at Edgering Ruins. He did not survive the encounter. So we've got another dead Oathbreaker, whom you will ask about next. I assure you nothing can be done. Or he's dead. Taken by the chorus. Do not know the person, or we're done here. So he's dead as well.
My apologies, Fatebinder. I had a terrible feeling this errand was in vain from the start. I had no expectations that our friends could be saved, as I'm sure the time for swapping prisoners is long gone. But at least I know of what became of them. That'll have to be enough.
So bow deeply. Sorry you did not find what you are seeking. I have some questions for you. We're through. Leave while you can. I'll ask some questions.
I will entertain them as best I can. After all, understanding is the only hope we have. What is it you wish to know?
Why do you resist Kairos? What are you trying to save? How did you and your friends overthrow the garrison? Who's in charge of this insurrection? Were the prisoner swaps in the past? That's all. Why do you resist Kairos?
I grew up without my knee bent to Kairos, and if I'm going to bow to someone, let it be another Tiersman. We've ruled ourselves just fine for centuries, so we'll give our lives so that our sons and daughters might rule themselves.
The younger realms were beset with constant battle. You'd prefer that to Kairos' order? Only your daughters are really free in the tears. Why fight against Kairos' equality? What makes you think you have a chance? A mage like you would not be the subject of such superstition and fear under Kairos' reign. Let me ask something else. We'll go with the one from the bottom.
I doubt life is any better sworn to some mad archon. I'd rather stand with my fellow tearsmen. Or, I suppose, stand immediately behind them in the event of an attack.
That remark, the soldiers flanking her exchange shocked looks. It turns her focus to her compatriots.
Yeah, you heard me. Way things were years back, you'd all be calling me a water witch and conspiring to sell me out to the nearest sage. Just because I'm helping you stop Kairos doesn't mean I've forgotten the hospitality of ages past.
And people wonder why the Tearsmen could never unite in time to fight back. It's refreshing to see that some things never change.
Oh, verse in with a little jab there. Only your daughters are really free in the tears. Why fight against Kairos' equality? Got to be the proper propagandist here.
There's freedom, then there's trusting idiots with power. Give a man 1,000,000 marauders, he'll lose sleep worrying over his neighbor's 1,000. I prefer my realms ruled by the braver sex. For centuries we've left the lands to the women and the seas to the men, and we did plenty fine until Kairos came around.
Let's go with the top one. The younger realms were beset with constant battle. You'd prefer that to Kairos'
You
order?
make conflict sound like a bad thing. Yes, the younger realms saw frequent battles, but it was never this wholesale slaughter like we've seen of late. No tearsman ever cast an edict on the soil, or forced prisoners to kill each other, or butchered beastmen tribes.
Yeah, alright. Enough questions there. Were there prisoner swaps in the past?
That is our way, Binder. Here in the south, only thugs and bandits kill prisoners. The younger realms may be guilty of constant fighting, but we never slay each other when the battle's long over. We're not about to change that now. As a rule, Kairos' forces haven't been keen on swapping prisoners. But I know our disfavored prisoners aren't prisoners anymore. I just assumed they were swapped for some of our own.
Okay. Who's in charge of this insurrection?
Listen to you. Thinking just like the Overlord wants you to think. There always has to be a person in charge or things don't make sense. Well, we don't answer to anyone. We are each of us sons and daughters of the Tears, and take this task upon ourselves freely. But Captain Tarkus Ari, former Falksman of Queen Vendry and Alanta, is the voice we trust when we seek unanimity.
I assume Tarkus Auri and Tarkus Deimos are relations.
Yes. Deimos was Ari's brother. We were certain he was dead, but the captain takes family seriously. So I volunteered to find some answers. And now here we are. Fair enough. But now a question for you. The Edict. I can feel its magic coursing through the air. Everyone can. But those of us enlightened to the currents of magic feel it most. The wording of the Edict. What was it?
Ooh, do we tell her? Given that all will perish, it may swap some to our side? Assuming they believe in the power of the edict. Yeah, we'll just tell the truth.
Curious. You did say all in the valley. So the edict will affect Kairos' forces? This is most unexpected. That is most troubling. So either the soldiers come to destroy and kill us, or the edict does the work. I suppose we should be so honored the Overlord is taking no chances on us. I've another question for you, if you will entertain it.
Just one more.
Are we really standing here and chatting with Oathbreakers? It's hard to watch. like cuddling a goat you're going to kill for dinner.
When I was young, my parents told me the Tears were special, and the Overlord's edicts and armies could never touch us. Seems I've been told a hefty sum of lies. So answer this honestly for me, please. Is it true that Tunon's Fatebinders can smell truth from falsehood?
No.
Thanks for that. I could see why you'd want to foster the mystique all the same. The School of Tides would always tell commoners we didn't know how to summon drinkable water. Once they find out, you can't eat in peace. And Kairos' edicts. I have heard the sages speak at length that some of the edicts elsewhere in the world have been broken. How is this?
Okay, so... No mistaken, an edict is forever. It will end if the Overlord wills it, however. Or a strong enough anti-magical force can end an edict. Not that such things are common. Lore answer. It varies based on the wording of the proclamation. If Kairos provides a clause allowing the edict to end, that clause can be satisfied. The Overlord has some control over how the edict lingers. Kairos only knows the exact details. Clear silently, or I'm done answering questions. I'm going to go with the lore answer.
Ah, so some edicts are forever. The rest are, as long as Kairos has in mind? Needless to say, Kairos' magic is unlike anything we've seen in any Archon. And one more mildly self-indulgent question, but I simply must know. Kairos, male or female?
The Overlord is mother and father. The question is irrelevant. That sounds very indoctrinated.
Really? You don't know either? You work for the Overlord, but you don't know if she, or he, has an innie or an outie?
Okay, that's an interesting way of wording it. It usually refers to belly buttons. Anyway. No, I don't know, but I have it on good authority the Imperial Harem is stocked with both. Interesting. I think the Overlord just wants to keep people guessing. Seems to work quite well. You feel better or worse to know you lost to a man or a woman? Why does it matter? That seems like a reasonable one to say.
You speak true. It ultimately matters not. My apologies. The question now seems rather foolish. You must remember, Kairos was just a horror story from distant lands for much of our lives. We have many unanswered questions. You'll forgive, I hope, the questions. The Overlord and his Archons used to be things of legend. Now they're everyday maladies, and I'm eager to separate the truth from the lies I've been told by House and Guild.
Slightly concerned that she's probably the most loyal person to me in the game at the moment.
In accordance to our most ancient customs, let us depart in honorable accord. May peace find you, Fatebinder.
She bows deeply, pounding her staff on the ground twice before turning to leave. Excellent. Right, and that there is where we will bring the Tyranny video to an end.